Pleading guilty today on a conditional discharge statute. She's represented by Christy Grant, Clarendon County Bar, in the state's representation court. She is a conditional discharge sentence in the court's discretion.
Step forward, place your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand.
I'm sorry, I give you the court.
Okay. You solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Yes.
All right, Mr. Durant,
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
you are Ms. Schilling.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Schilling, how do you plead to this charge today?
Guilty.
The recommendation is a conditional discharge, and I almost always go along with that. But and I know he has, but for the sake of the record, do you understand what a conditional discharge is?
Yes, sir. I believe so.
What do you think it is?
I believe that it will allow me to complete a probationary period, whereas the charges get expunged
Okay.
pending the completion.
That's close enough. It's good enough.
Good enough? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm a beginner.
I'm sorry. Now, let me go back. I may have asked you already. How do you plead to the charge?
Guilty?
Okay. Now, are you satisfied with your lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Has he done all you asked him to do?
Absolutely.
Any complaints about your lawyer?
No, sir.
Has anybody promised you anything to come to court and say you plead guilty?
No, sir.
Is anybody making you do this?
No, sir.
Are you using medication, drugs, or alcohol?
No, sir.
Do you have any illness or injury that makes it hard for you to understand what you're doing today?
No, sir.
What's the ultimate exposure to this damage that had to happen?
Up to 2 years.
So Ms. Schilling, if this doesn't work out and you come back to court to be sentenced, it could be up to 2 years in prison. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And a judge doesn't necessarily have to follow recommendations, even less than that. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You have 10 days upon being sentenced, if that has to happen, to appeal the sentence and the plea or the verdict. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
When you plead guilty, you give the right to a trial by a jury. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You give us the right to remain silent. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Henderson?
Your Honor, on 6/26/2020, Deputy Clay Miller with the Hemingway Police Department, Deputy Miller with the Hemingway Police Department arrived at a shoplifting in Providence. They went out to the Dollar General there in Hemingway. One of the employees in the parking lot waving them toward a golden colored trailblazer which was leaving the scene. Formed a traffic stop on the trailblazer. As the officers approached the vehicle, they smelled marijuana inside and also saw several needle caps in the floor of the vehicle that could have common cause with the drugs in the vehicle. Performed a search. Ms. Schilling was an occupant of the vehicle. Also found a wallet. Her identification inside of that wallet were baggies of brownish rock-like substance consistent with their training experience. Heroin on the bindles was "Pray for Death" written. It was subsequent testing that came back positive. Ms. Schilling has no criminal history, and that's why she's eligible for this religion.
Ms. Schilling, did you hear what he said now?
Yes, sir.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir, it is.
You still wish to plead guilty?
Yes, sir.
Are you guilty? Are you guilty as charged?
I'm sorry?
Are you guilty as charged?
Oh, yes, sir, I apologize.
Mr. Durant, do you have any concerns or reservations about the plea?
That I don't, Miss Schilling is 35 years old. She's got a degree in elementary education from Francis Marion. She was a fourth grade teacher for 8 years. And John, you've probably heard of this story before. She started out as having been prescribed OxyContin and developed an addiction to that. And that led to kind of a drug habit. John, to her credit, she has voluntarily enrolled herself in a medication-assisted treatment program. She's been doing that for a lengthy period of time now, for 5 months, Judge, and she hopes to regain her teaching certificate and believe this will allow her to do that. So she is getting treatment that she needs. She's drug-free now, other than the methadone that's prescribed through that treatment program. So she's back on the right track now. We asked her to accept the recommendation and sentence her. We would ask her on for 6 months of additional discharge program.
The state has no objection.
All right. I generally go 6 months. That's what it is, 6 months period of time here. And I'll ask the clerk of the court, am I to, are you private counsel or appointed?
I am kind of a hybrid judge. I took some cases on from the public defender's office from COVID backlogs. I guess I'm appointed technically.
Let me ask the clerk here, maybe I'll check off that block here, about $350, what I do.
Yes.
She's a public defender client judge, so I think you can check that box.
Okay,
Yes.
all right, and I did. So, this should be good luck to you, man, hope it works out.
Just for the record, there's some other charges that Ms. Freeland was facing, and I'm saying they're being dismissed as a result of this court.
That's right.
Okay, all right, thank y'all.
Thank you.
You okay with that?
Okay.
How you doing, sir?
Hey, sir, how you doing?
Hello, Judge, how are you,
Good to
sir?
see you.
Good to see you, too.
We have Your Honor, before you is Hunter B. Elliott, indictment number 2020 GS 4554, currently charged with murder, possession of weapons of a violent crime. I'm here today, he had a previous hearing, I believe it was before Your Honor, back in January of 2022. It was ordered that the defendant had an issue with a magistrate level offense that was arrested for, and a bond that he did not have his GPS monitor on as ordered. You ordered that his bond be revoked at that time, but he may reapply as soon as he sorted out the GPS issues. It's my understanding that they dealt with that, and I'm here today to get that put back on.
This is not the man who said his bracelet, my ankle bracelet slipped off the Black River Swamp, is it?
You got a good memory, Judge.
Is that him?
Yes, sir.
I still find that incredible. But what you got to say, sir?
Judge, we do have monitoring services set up with Guardian Monitoring, and I provided a letter to Mr. Anderson to verify that. And if I could hand that up, Judge. Thank you.
Is it waterproof?
I don't think so, Judge, but be that as it may, we'd ask the court to reconsider and reinstate the bond. I don't remember how many days he was in jail before we came before you on January 24th, but since that time it's been,
It was 61 then,
it's 130 more since January, Judge.
Now, as I recall, you were on bond, obviously, because they had a monitor, right?
Yes, sir.
Goes in the swamp, swimming, December, right? What you said?
November, y'all.
November, well, I'm off a few days. And it came off while you were swimming, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So that's why I denied him a bond until this could be sorted out, correct?
Well, I think there was probably a public disorderly or a public drug or something
But
too.
my point of it is he was already out on some kind of bond for the murder charge, right?
Yes, sir, he was.
Okay. All right. Mr. Hampton, you will be heard?
Your Honor, only to say that I've reviewed what Mr. Suggs has provided, and it appears to comply with what you ordered back in January.
Okay. All right, we'll go back on this situation here. What other restrictions on that original murder bond will remain in place? And I'm sure it has a no contact provision and all those kind of things, traffic victims and so forth.
It does.
Oh, let me ask you this now. Should we have a victim here today?
And Your Honor, the victim's family is aware of what's going on. They have not appeared in previous bond hearings.
What do they know about today?
Let me review mine. No, but I can call them quickly if we can sidebar. Your Honor. I'll let you know.
If you don't mind doing that, so we don't have that situation going on.
I'll make it with those. I'll step out.
Sir?
Stand aside, Judge.
Yes, sir.
Now to the number that was given to me by the victim's family. They did not pick up a detailed voicemail. To address the court's concerns, I proposed that we hold the judge's rule that it be held in advance until they've been properly contacted and they get back to me. I've had trouble communicating with these victims in the past, getting them on the numbers. I just don't want to unfairly, I want them to have an opportunity to be heard, but I don't want them this to be what holds them in jail if they're not actively participating in the process.
All right, well, would you make an attempt today to get back in touch with them?
Yeah, I'm going to ask someone to drive out there to
I
investigate.
can tell you that if you had no response from them by 5 o'clock today, so I'll make it 4 o'clock. I'm going to rule on it.
Thank you, Robert, and I'll follow up on that immediately and finish the message.
As soon as I do, you'll be known and you'll know.
Well, thank you. I would like to just add, if I may, and I don't know what way he carries, but Hunter's mother, who was here in the courtroom, reminded me that he was on the GPS on the front end, on the first go around, I think about 6 months without any problems, and all this came up after that. So, for what's worth.
I won't say what I'm doing the record, but if they got you 4 o'clock, let me know.
Thank you. Thank you.